too often do we look and judge things by appearances, right? Especially nowadays with crowdfunding. Bigger is better, Chris. Well, 2 small box card only driven games. Right? 2 of the best games I've played all year. 2 of the games that have real potential to be top 10 games of the year as well. Why? What are they? What do you need to know? Faraway. Tricktakers. You ready? Let's go. This is it. This is everything that comes with Faraway. And this is all that it really needs. Contrasting it to the earlier discussed in this year, Veil of Eternity, which is sitting right over there, which is why I look that way. The issue with engine builders lies in the fact that you need to have enough knowledge of them to be able to start to twist it to your needs. But for me personally, not too much knowledge of it, so that every time you're playing it, the dynamic is still different and you're not just samesiing it every single game playthrough, right? And so here we have Faraway. Faraway takes that concept and, you know, again, gets the little scoring notepad, which, I mean, does anyone ever use that? I never do. Anyway, rule book, but basically you're 2 sets of cards here. Region cards, sanctuary cards. That's it. You get 3 cards in your hand. You're going to have these cards available to you to play on your turn. They have a couple different elements. The initiative in the upper left, the day or night symbol in the upper left, then a little quest or map symbol right there. Unlockable little symbols on the upper right hand corner, which are going to then allow you to score objectives that get you victory points down below. And then they have a color based system as well of the 4 different colors that are going to be available to you. You have 3 in your hand to start out with. You put out a number in the market equal to the number of players plus 1. So 2 players, there are my 3 market cards. And then we have the sanctuary cards. On a turn-by-turn basis, you choose one of these to put out on your tableau, and you just lay it out there. That's it. Now, there are considerations, right? You want to get resources built. You want to have your engine in terms of unlockables, as well as, well, the numerical aspect of things. Because if you numerically increase them as you're going along, you get to draw these ever useful, well, if you can hold on to them, sanctuary cards, which again give you additional ways of getting those resource symbols, the colors, or victory points in general. That's it. Now, the more of these map symbols down here that you have on the board, if you lay one of these down, you again get the number plus 1. So if I don't have any and I just have one of these and I lay it down in the correct order, I just get one of these and I get to play it right in my tableau. Now, all of a sudden, if I lay this one down, I've got 1 extra map symbol and I lay it correspondingly higher than the previous card. Now I get my choice of 2 and I can choose which one is going to behoove my engine a little bit better. That's the game. That's the whole game right there. You do that 8 times. You play 8 of these region cards in your tableau, however many of these sanctuary cards you get along the way, and you're done. That's the whole game. Chris, what? Chris, you've lost me, Chris. Oh, did I mention the most puzzling, the most divisive element? Why some people are going to like this game. Some people are going to absolutely hate this game. Absolutely hate this game. My wife did not like this game. Spoilers, right? Because at the end of the game, it reverses things. So the whole mindset of I have to have this symbol in order to unlock this one when I score as I'm going along my tableau. Nope, just kidding. Uno reverse. Because you actually score them from right to left, which means this symbol right here unlocks this. But if I had it moving around like this symbol is not used to unlock this anymore because you're going this way. So this one and this one are going to be unused to lock this one, but this one doesn't come into effect yet. And so therein lies the dilemma, because these cards are arranged in a specific order, right? You're going to have ones that are going to score better at the higher initiatives. You're going to have ones that are going to give you more resources at the lower initiatives if we scroll through here, right? They're going to give you more points potentially or more numbers in terms of symbology. And so therein lies the dilemma. Do you go for the heavy sanctuary cards by getting them in numerical order, but then your reverse score is going to be all screwed up? Or do you mix and match, min-max, and cross your fingers, right? That is Faraway. That's everything, folks. That's everything. And you just score individually all of these regions going across, and then you score the sanctuary cards as they go across too. You just tally it up, and you just have this whole tableau set up, and you just have a line of stuff that you go through. That's all. Is it fun? Yeah, it's fun. Is it going to drive you bat nuts crazy? Because sometimes you're not going to have a clue how well you're actually scoring until you get 3/4 of the way through, and then it's too late to adjust your plans or adjust accordingly. Yep. You're going to get screwed. Yep. Those market cards that I mentioned that are going to be sitting out here, you know what? There may not be a great one out for you. There's no way to mitigate. Oh, I didn't mention the fact that, the person plays the lowest initiative card on their turn between all the players, not just in your tableau, but of the players, gets to choose one first and they don't get replaced. Right? So how much of that dynamic element of the one out that I need right here is the one I can't get because someone else has already stolen it from me and you can't mitigate it whatsoever. And you know what? You don't get enough of these sanctuary cards. Some of them are just going to be better fits, and some of them just aren't going to be better fits. You know what? It's not doing anything unique except for the reverse scoring. I can see why people aren't going to like it, but it's fun. It's fun at a chaotic neutral side of things, right? As myself as a lover of that on the channel, and so it strikes all of those fancies. The only thing I'll say is those meeples that I pre-ordered because I ordered this at retail from Pandasaurus, completely and utterly worthless. Completely and utterly worthless. Don't do anything for me whatsoever. Don't add anything gameplay wise, and they're just meeples that stand around. So that was a waste of like $10. But otherwise, this and this, unlike Veil of Eternity, like I mentioned at the beginning, I don't feel the need for an expansion. I don't feel the need that I need more cards after playing it a couple times, right? That I've seen everything, that I can see how the combos go. No, I like it, and I like it a lot, and I'm going to like it more of the repeated play because I'm just going to get it slightly better, but it's going to be slightly different because I've got all of these numbered cards and all of this dynamic to go along with it. So, just freaking works. It's fun. It's fast. It's counterintuitive. And that's what makes my brain tingle and makes it kind of cool. So that's everything. Faraway, right? Side note here, though, as a segue between these games, I want to point this out. And this is something that drives me crazy as a whole, right? If I can actually get this freaking box open, right? Here is the insert for this, right? So I have these cards, and all I have to do is put them in here and then in here, right? So this box is almost 50% bigger than it necessarily needs to be. Now let's take Tricktakers, for example. Tricktakers, right? Tricktakers. Portland Collective, they brought it over, and this is a Japanese trick-taking game. And this is trick-taking with root asymmetric-esque powers. But the difference here is, well, here's the insert, right? Here's the size. You can see the difference here. And that's it. This is like a lot less overhead insert, right? Like, Okay, and so that just irritates me when, again, like you're not making it because it fits the game better, you're making it because you want more shelf presence. And that's my own pet peeve. But anyway, Portland Gaming Collective, in combination with Joyful Games, brought this game over. And so, again, all this game is potentially a 2 to 5 player trick-taking game. So if you're familiar with trick-taking whatsoever, it's going to be relatively intuitive, right? But if you're not familiar with trick-taking, essentially all you do is you deal out 5 cards per player. And as you're dealing these cards out, you're going to have various ways of, well, changing your hand or potentially drawing from the pile that's not used. Because you're going to have 40 cards in this deck, 4 suits of 9 each, and then 4 special cards, 2 white flags, and 2 rares. Essentially, the weakest of the weak and the trump of the trump. And that's the basic game, is win tricks, get points, play 3 rounds. Only 3 rounds. It's fast. Win the most tricks in a round, gain a gold token. Win 2 of the 3 rounds, you win. Don't win any tricks, get a black crown. Get 3 black crowns, guess what? You win. Have all these asymmetric character abilities with winning abilities that will go along with things as well, guess what? You win. And there's an order and a hierarchy of them as a whole. your abilities, then the gold crowns, then the black crowns. Or none of those happen over 3 rounds. Don't worry, you don't have to play another round. You just score off the points that you're getting at the bottom of the cards because it tells you, again, how many points you're getting for each trick or tricks or no tricks that you're achieving. And the tricky point with this is, he's pulling out the good stuff now, folks. Because all of that stuff that I just mentioned right here, because the asymmetry comes from these individual roles that you're going to be taking on. And they just do cool stuff. And the game just says, okay, however much customization do you want, right? Think root as a trick taker. That's what this game is. The king, well, you go first. You just get a special king trump card. When you draw your hand of 5, I just get to look at this and say, which one of these don't I want? Get rid of that one. Get the king trump card into my hand, wherever that may be right now. And that's a trump card above the other trump cards. And you can see right here, here's the white flag card, here's the rare card, and black. Black is actually trump over the other 3 suits. So that's what you do. And then you have other ones that you start off with, like the gambler. Well, the gambler gets more points for the higher amount of tricks that he wins. But he has to bid. So if you win them, you get extra points. If you lose them, you lose points. You can get negative points. And then also, you can win the game if you bid 4 and actually get 4 or 5, right? And then the resistance, where you have a revolt token. You have this little revolt token, which then allows you to switch up the bidding. Meaning, if I play this during a trick, all of a sudden, the weak becomes strong, the strong become weak. And guess what? If I win with a certain strength card during that, not only can I get extra bonus points, but I can win the whole game with it if I play it really smart, just like that. The Hermit, again, doesn't want to win tricks. Allows you to literally take your hand on a turn-by-turn basis. Every time you're supposed to play a card, draw a card and get rid of a card. Draw a card and get rid of a card. That's freaking awesome, right? And then I didn't even talk about the gambler's other thing is at the beginning, because, well, how am I supposed to win these tricks, Chris? I've got my 5 cards in my hand. I don't like some of my cards already. I just discard them and redraw before we've even played. Don't like this anymore. I want to short suit myself even further here. Redraw. And there you go. And that's, again, how you're getting mitigation to go along with it. Again, guess what? After each round, there's going to be an initiative order, a changing of hands, because you may end up with some of these same characters. You may want a different one. Want to be the king? Well, too bad. You can't be the king twice in a row. These 2 simple for you? Well, guess what? Here's 4 more that do things even more insane, that twist up the orders, that add a number 10 in there. But don't worry, because the number 1 beats number 10 if the same suit is played. Or you want to really adventure, you want to have berserker rare cards, you want to have all asymmetric rules to go along with things, you can, because it just lays them out all over. And did I mention that it plays only over 3 rounds? So you just play 5 tricks 3 times, and then you just rinse and repeat. You just rinse and repeat. It's freaking awesome. This is my go-to trick taker now for anything a step up, period. I love it. I'm really impressed by this. It's going to be too random. It's going to be too chaotic. It's going to be too potentially take that. You don't have as much mitigation, even with the mitigation that you're being given, with the draws and the redraws and the playings and the smart aspects of things, you're still going to lose. And guess what? You just played again. And once you get used to the basic cards, you start getting to play cool things like the Adventurer, the Berserker, the Collector, or the Ruler, which gives other people tasks they have to accomplish along the way. But guess what? It doesn't change the game length. It doesn't change the dynamics. It just makes it a little bit, tricky, because the hierarchy of some of these bids gets a little bit difficult at times because of this hierarchy changing. And there's a bunch of rules examples of, when the white flag is actually the lowest, and, when during the revolt that actually doesn't matter, or when the 1s beat 10s and the 10s don't beat 1s, when the tricks are going to be higher or lower. And it just gives you a little bit more of a dynamic here that you're gonna have to try and remember. And there's a little bit of nuance to it. And that's probably the biggest overhead learning is, when is the white flag actually the weakest? When does it not get to be the weakest? When is the 1 actually beating the 10? When is the 10 not beating the 1? When is the trump actually not trump? So there's a little bit of that here, but these cards, again, lay it out very succinctly. Portland Gaming Collective has done an absolutely fantastic job in terms of ranking this and showing this and putting these little player aids on these cards and the how to wins, and then also the 10s and the initial equipments that you may end up with depending on the cards that you have, and just how the round structures are even done on the side cards here and the character selection. So all of the rules are on cards separately if this rule book is somehow too thick for you, and it's not, because they also give tons of examples of how you actually do stuff. So there's absolutely zero question of clarity needed in this game further. So it's just done really well, and it plays really, really quickly. And those two things are just amazing. The only downside is, again, you're going to really need 3 people that know sort of what other people can do a little bit of. There are 2-player roles. I mean, you don't get the full dynamic experience with a 2-player game situation, right? You know, trick-taking is really a 3, 4, and this plays even up to 5. You're going to play it with 3 or 4, and you're going to be very happy with it. Now, I'd make the argument that it's a little bit unlike Root in the sense that you don't really need to know what everyone else is going to do all the time. It's going to make it better. You know, if you don't remember that I have the revolt token and I can, you know, flip the script on things, but it gives a dynamic storytelling aspect and experience related gameplay that, I mean, that's what we do it for, right? Everybody remembers when you came back and won from behind with euchre, spades, hearts, regicide, whatever it may be, right? Those are the experiences that we love and why we do this in the first place. And this is a great example of just a step up from it. And you know what? I'm going to bring this to our, you know, vacation later this summer and play it with my family who likes trick-taking games. I mean, we play euchre. Euchre gets played all the time at these gatherings. And so I'm going to make them play this with me because I love it. And I think they'll like it once we get the swing of things. And they've just done an amazing port of this, an amazing game as a whole, and just another reason why indie publishers and especially games being ported over from the Japanese scene are worth keeping an eye on. So, you know, again, final point here, truth be told, both of these games have a very high likelihood of being on my top 10s of the year, which now puts 3 small box games potentially already there, and we're not even halfway through the year. It's exciting. It's fun. It just goes to show sometimes there's great stuff out there if you just look for it. That's all I got. Stay classy. Have a great freaking day. You probably can't read this, but it says, "Thanks, Chris. This game is going to blow your mind. It's so fun," right? Sent as a backer getting this. I just like that. That's a nice little touch. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.